Welcome to my monthly video, which this month focuses on ROMA, the Rural Ontario Municipal Association, and its recent conferences and activities. The Township of Rideau Lakes is a long-time and active member of ROMA, which is in itself part of AMO, the Association of Municipalities of Ontario. Both organizations serve to represent municipal interests to the provincial and sometimes the federal governments. ROMA has been well represented from Eastern Ontario. Former Mayor Ron Holman is a past chair, and Westport Mayor Robin Jones is the current chair. Last month, ROMA held its annual conference from January 23rd to the 25th. With COVID, the conferences for the past 2 years have been virtual. It brings together roughly 1,400 delegates who hear presentations on various current municipal issues. As well, we always have the Premier speak, along with leaders of all the other major parties, namely the NDP, the Liberal, and the Green parties. There is also always a bear pit session attended by most, if not all, of our cabinet members who face questions from us, the delegates. As a member of County Council, I have attended all ROMA and AMO conferences during this term of council. In addition to the quality of the guest speakers and the breakout sessions, I most enjoy the opportunity to make delegations to individual cabinet ministers. In the past, the Township of Rideau Lakes was successful in its delegation to Minister of Transportation, Carolyn Mulrooney, to have MTO commit to addressing the Crosby intersection at Highway 15 and County Road 42. Building on this delegation, and frankly, over 20 years of lobbying for signalization, we are now moving closer to a potential roundabout that would serve to slow traffic on Highway 15 and greatly improve public safety. Last month at ROMA, on behalf of the United Counties of Leeds and Grenville, I participated in 4 delegations, namely the Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing, our own Steve Clark, where we lobbied for a proactive policy for affordable housing and greater flexibility of the funding that's currently provided in this area. Secondly, the Minister of Long-Term Care, Paul Calendra. We lobbied for the new 192-bed long-term care facility that is being built in Athens. The current formula for funding actually provides a higher subsidy allocation to urban long-term care homes than to rural long-term care homes, and we felt that this was unfair. Thirdly, we had a delegation with the Attorney General of Ontario, Doug Downey. We lobbied for additional tools to collect unpaid provincial offences fines and a prompt reopening of our POA courts. And finally, we had a delegation with the Parliamentary Assistant to the Minister of Finance, Michael Parza. Here we discussed the need to have a post-pandemic plan for the implementation of the next assessment cycle to ensure that there are no major shifts between property classes. All of these delegations give us, as your elected members, the opportunity to speak directly to key decision makers at the provincial level. ROMA and AMO have staff, a budget, and active board members who make it possible to carry out research and provide policy recommendations to the province. The most recent report was just released and is called Opportunities for Rural Ontario in a Post-COVID World, a Plan for Action. In an over 80-page document, ROMA delves into the factors that define and shape our rural Ontario. Most of the stats for rural Ontario are quite impressive. There are 2.8 million residents in 965,000 households in rural Ontario. 1.1 million strong labor force with an average salary of $51,425. There's $321 billion in goods and services produced annually in rural Ontario and $150 billion in annual manufacturing production, with $92 million exported out of rural Ontario. Currently, rural Ontario is a significant contributor to our province's prosperity. However, we in rural Ontario often feel that policy is dictated by urban interests. ROMA works hard to convince our provincial politicians to look at issues through a rural lens before making final policy decisions. This recent report that I mentioned has 23 recommendations and can be viewed at roma.on.ca. There are 5 interdependent themes, and those are namely digital connectivity, housing affordability, access to services, workforce development, and finally, growth on our own terms. In reading the report, I am pleased to say that your local council is acting on all of these themes. I am particularly proud of our work on digital connectivity, which over 3 years will see about $6 million spent with the local taxpayer share of only $800,000. Digital connectivity is so important for the ability to be competitive in rural Rideau Lakes. Our council has also created an affordable housing ad hoc committee, which has developed a draft action plan, which you are now welcome to comment on. Find it on our website, rideaulakes.ca, under Township News. The United Counties also has an affordable housing focus, and plans are coming together to promote a broad range of future housing options and financial subsidy to create secondary units. Under access to services, we continue to get better at funding our roads and bridges and making sure that maintenance meets expectations. Something called asset management is a big part of helping us set our budget priorities. Work is also being done at the county level to add long-term care beds and expand the community paramedicine program. In closing, I want to say that we all have a role to play in keeping rural Ontario vibrant and relevant. COVID has seen a bit of a reverse in migration patterns as city dwellers seek out the lifestyle and safety provided by our rural communities. Rideau Lakes is experiencing record growth, and this comes with new service expectations. We need to manage that growth and ensure our growth does not compromise the very reasons we all choose to live and play here. Thank you to Roma and AMO for being our spokespersons and partners in sustainably growing rural Ontario.